Okay. As you can probably tell by my lovely coordinating outfit here, winter has arrived in southern Oklahoma for the next day or so. Got down to supposedly 23 degrees the night before last. And it was in the 30s last night, I think. My heaters worked great for the chickens, kept them at a pretty comfy 45-ish degree range, which is what Bill taught me was like the best temperature for them. Now, whether other people agree or not, I don't know, don't care. That was Bill's philosophy on chickens. And so they came through it in perfect condition. They're all, Peeps is in out of the wind. They're all in out of the wind. That wind is cold today. It's cutting. So I left their coops closed up and left their heaters on. If the temperature dips below 45 inside their coops, their heaters come on until it gets to that level, and then they turn off again. So they've got enough sense to be in out of the weather in spite of what people say about chickens. So they're smarter than we give them credit for. So I'm trying a new setup. I keep changing things around with my cameras here because I'm trying to find the optimum setup for cameras in the truck. And I finally got my dash cam, I think, where I need it to be. I've got it mounted. It's pretty stable. It looks good. It's not moving around. It's staying put. And then for my inward-facing camera, I had gotten my old cell phone and tried it, and that was a big fail. It didn't work at all. Didn't work well at all. The video quality was just crappy on it. I'd forgotten how bad the camera was on my old phone. Like 2 or 3 phones ago, I had a phone that had a great camera, and I'm always thinking it was the last phone I had. Well, it's not. The last one I had a terrible camera. So, what I ended up doing, I just happened to remember that Bill had a phone just like my current phone, and that I had tucked it away in my desk with his old tablet. So I got the phone out, his old phone, and charged it up and put a big memory chip in it. And because it's got a SIM card in it, it's functional on Wi-Fi. If I hook it in, with my phone or whatever, or the house Wi-Fi, whatever. So it's actually usable. That mount is letting that move around a lot. It's just the nature of the beast. I've been trying different kinds of mounts, and this is probably the best one so far, but on bumpy roads it's not going to be great. The dash mount is a lot better because it's solid. It's on a solid base. It's on the dash. Now this one is suspended from the rear view mirror, so it leaves something to be desired on bumpy roads. But hey, we work with what we have to work with, right? So yeah. For some reason, I saved Bill's hats. I got rid of a lot of his other stuff. It just didn't make sense to me to keep, like his old beat up work clothes and, old underwear and stuff. I just didn't really see the need for that. There's nothing sentimental to me about that, but for some reason I saved his old hats. It got 2 of these stocking caps, and he wore these a lot. And so my head was cold when I went out to get the chickens out this morning, out of their coops. And I thought, aha, I think I've got a hat in here. So I dug around, found them. And sure enough, one of them, this one, relatively fits me decently. It's kind of big. That's okay. I'd rather have it kind of big than too small. And So I think this is going to be my official winter hat unless I find something a little bit more actually stylish that I like. But I have a hard time with stocking caps. I've got a little pinhead. Well, kinda. I've been mocked for it once or twice. So it's hard for me to find hats that actually fit me correctly. This one's not bad. It's not the prettiest hat, but I'll tell you what, it's keeping my head and my ears warm today, which is nice because up at my house in the wind, it was 49 degrees. It's 54 here, according to my truck. But it's been cold. And it's not so bad if you're out of the wind, but if you're out in that wind, even though it's a south wind, I mean, you would think a southern wind would be warm, but that's not the way it works. It's like the cold air blows out from the north into the south, and then it stays cold a day or two, and then the south wind brings the cold air back up ahead of the warm air. So it gets really cold both ways until that cold air is used up, I guess, pushed back up north. And then the warm air following it can settle in and take over, which it's supposed to do later this week. We're supposed to be back to normal temperatures. But in the meantime, my head was cold. So I'm really thankful that I had saved these hats of Bill's, at least this one in particular. The other one, not so much because it doesn't fit me right. It just doesn't feel right, This one's not too bad. So I'm glad to have it. Really glad to have it today. And I did splurge yesterday at Walmart. I got myself 2 new hoodies. I got this one and then kind of a light colored one, kind of off-white colored one. They're a little thicker than the one I've got, and they're women's, so they're cut better to fit me. The other one I've been wearing is an old blue one of Bill's, and it's way too long. The body, it's just, I just look like, I don't know, kind of homeless and shabby when I wear it because it doesn't fit at all. It's just way too big. So this is a little better and considerably warmer than his old one because it was a thin one. These are thick ones. So yay. And they were relatively inexpensive, which is fine. I'm not like a name brand clothing type of person. I don't care. The only thing I care about name brand on is like my boots. Now I do have a penchant for boots. I like Fry's. I've got several pairs of Fry's. I actually got rid of a bunch of my Fry boots that I never wore. And I paid a lot of money for them, but I ended up getting rid of them because I just ran out of room to store them. And I wasn't wearing them, so I was like, okay. So I still have, I think I saved 3 or 4 pairs of Fry's that I still don't wear. I never wear the Fry's that I have. And I don't know why. Probably because I just, out of habit, put on my Justins every morning. So I like this particular type of Justin boot. Now I'm sure you've seen my boots in some of the videos because I wear the same ones all the time. They're like, what do they call them, Durango style boots with the brass rings on the sides and then the strap to go around. They're, walking boots basically. I think they've got a riding boot heel though. Seems to me like they're not like a squared off walking heel. It's more like a slanted riding heel. I really like these boots. And I knew when they came out that eventually they'd quit making them because everything that I like gets discontinued. So what I did over a couple of years' time is every time I saw a pair of them in my size, I would buy them. I think I've still got 1 or 2 new pairs in the back of my closet. But I think I'm on pair 3 or 4 now. I'm not sure which, but I've been wearing them for, 10 years now. Maybe not that long, maybe 5 years, 5 or 6. That sounds closer to right. But I really, really like this style of boot. They're the most comfortable boots I've ever had, and every pair of them has been as comfortable as the last. And they have quit making them, so now I'm kind of sad because once I wear out the last pair, that's it. I won't be able to get any more of them. then I'll have to figure something else out. But I wear them every day. Winter and summer, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And I've got other shoes, I just don't wear them. I just don't. Don't know why. Just don't. All right, let me go throw this bags of trash away. Get my little glovies. My cute gloves. Girly gloves. Ah, dang it. Okay, errand number 1, done. Next thing I've got to do is run by the post office. I've got 2 packages going out. 2 little packages for my eBay stuff. And then I need to run by and get a couple of cans of gas. I know it's late in the year to be buying gas. I mean, as you can see, the grass is not growing right now. It's gone dormant. But in the event that I get that lawnmower fixed, I want to go out and mow some of my pasture. If I can get it to work well enough to do that and knock it down, get all that dead stuff knocked down for the year, for the end of the year. Oh, and it, don't chase me. You do it. Dogs. Dogs, dogs. Right. So anyway, that's my big errands I've got going today. Now the post office and Love's to get some gas, some 100% gas for my mower. Don't want no stinking ethanol for the mower. So I was watching a video yesterday. Lady mechanic, she's got a small engine shop business. Chickanic, I think is what she calls it. She was talking about gas stations where they use the same hose pump for various types of fuel. And if you buy your 100% gas through one of those, like the first gallon and a half or whatever comes out to be whatever the last fuel is that was pumped through that hose. So if it was, you know, like high ethanol fuel that was pumped through that, that's what you're getting. And if you're putting it in a small gas can, you know, then it makes it bad for your engines that run on 100% gas. So I'm pretty sure, I'm going to check, but I'm pretty sure that at Love's it's just one hose on the 100% gas side. I don't think that you get options for different fuels through that particular pump. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. I don't remember having to select it. It seems like it's just 100% gas. I'm hoping that's true because evidently ethanol can really screw up your little engines like that, which which kind of makes sense if they're not meant to run on it. Okay, looks like we got something going on up here. Looks like they got a crane up there. I'm gonna have to make a left before we get up there, I'm pretty sure. Looks like they've got the road blocked. Fortunately, just across this bridge here and about a quarter mile up, there is another road I can cut over to 29. I'm not going up there and getting in the middle of their stuff. It looks like they're busy up there. Don't think I need to be driving through that. Just don't think so. It's finally warming up in here. It's actually getting too warm in here now. A little too warm. And this wind, my allergies have been acting up. Like the last couple of days, my sinuses have been having. Yesterday I had a sinus headache all day, woke up with it, had it all day, woke up with it again this morning, and then something changed evidently, because it finally went away, thank God. But all the weather changes here are really rough on my poor little old pinhead. Makes things not very fun sometimes. Just not very fun. So my doc switched me up on different allergy meds this last time I went in. I think it's helping a little bit, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. It's really hard to tell. Because I don't have like severe allergies. I've got relatively mild allergies, but they're also relatively constant allergies. So it's really hard to tell if anything's actually working well or not working well. Which sounds stupid, I know. I mean, I should be able to tell, but I can't tell. So I'm going to give it some time. I mean, I go back in 6 months, and by then maybe I'll be able to have figured it out whether it was helping me or not. And if it's not, then maybe it's time to try, plan C. We tried plan A for a long time. We're on plan B. The next thing we may have to go to plan C, but we'll see. I don't know. Do not know. That wind is just howling out of the south this morning. It's like it was howling out of the north yesterday. This is Highway 29, and I'm entering Marlow from the east side of town. driven this truck for a few days. I've been driving the Jeep. I've been wanting to take the Jeep out and drive it consistently for a few days since I made the valve cover gasket repair or switch out replacement. And it's running really well. I mean, I'm kind of impressed with it. It was running before, not surprisingly, because the head gasket was loose. I mean, the bolts in it were loose, literally. Most of them were just not even gripping. It was running rough and just didn't sound right, you know. And it was leaking oil all over the place. It was just a mess. So now it's running really well. I'm actually just really glad about it and really kind of impressed with how well it's doing. And it's doing something that it didn't do before, which I think is interesting. When I turn it on, when it's cold, when I crank it, it revs for a second and finds its own adjustment to cope with the cold, I guess. I don't know, some kind of temperature-driven adjustment on the carburetor settings. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but something's going on different, because it's like adjusting itself within like the first 2 or 3 seconds that the motor cranks over. It revs and then it settles into, you know, a normal speed. So it's kind of interesting. It wasn't doing that before. Of course, it wasn't getting that cold before, but we did drive it all year last year and it never did that. Drove it all winter last winter and it never did anything like that. So evidently having a loose valve cover gasket can cause you a lot more problems than just leaking oil, which I guess it kind of makes sense, you know, because it's kind of central to the system. That I'm sure it screws with your oil pressure and then probably cascades from there. Road closed, really? Oh, son of a buck. I guess I gotta go around like 3 or 4 blocks to get to the post office now. They've had one road closed for, I don't know, 6 months. This particular road going north-south here this block has been closed for at least 6 months, I think. And it's still closed. So I gotta go clear up around the school and back around to get to the post office. Note to self, go north next time. I can avoid this by going north and coming around. If I was in the Jeep, I wouldn't even bother, because I can just easily swing over and park in front of the post office, even though you're not supposed to do that. I've been scolded by the cops for doing that here before. You're not supposed to do that on a solid center line, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, but this is a small town. It's not like we've got that much traffic to contend with or any issues. I know. I should have more respect for them, having been one. So when I've got the truck, I actually go around the block and then come back from the west so I can park on the south side of the street legally. Because this isn't as easy to maneuver as the Jeep. I can make that kind of a flip around, but I gotta have more room to do it. And I'd just rather not get scolded again for doing it, you know. And to be completely honest, if I see a cop car, even when I'm in the Jeep, I don't do it in front of a cop. If I don't see any around, that's fine. I'll go ahead and make my little flip there. But yeah. So yes, even former cops are just normal human beings. Most of us, I should say. I should emphasize most of us. Some current and former cops are something else too. We won't go into that. there's good and bad in every profession, and well, there's good and bad in every profession. All right, get these mailed out and I'll be back. Or not. I think it's Veterans Day. That's why we got flags up all over the place too. So apparently on Veterans Day, not surprisingly, the post office is closed. Fancy that. All right, C's will go out tomorrow instead, which is fine. Not a problem. Put them in there. All right. So I guess we'll go get some fuel. Get gas for the mower. Huh. Funny. I mean, I knew it was Veterans Day. It didn't occur to me that the post office would actually be closed, which is kind of dumb. Let's see. Yeah, because it's Tuesday. For some reason, in my mind, the post office, when it closes, it's usually on a Monday. And I guess a lot of times it is when the holiday falls on a Friday, a Monday, or a weekend. But of course, on other holidays, it's closed on those holidays. So yeah. Alrighty then. So the next thing I'm going to do, my next big trick, video-wise, after I get this done, and I'm probably not going to do this until tomorrow because I'm not going to go out in the barn and work when it's 40 degrees and freeze my butt off. When I don't have to, I can wait another day and it'll be 70 degrees and nice in there. But I think tomorrow, if it does warm up tomorrow, I'm going to work on the mower again. I got all the parts in to try one more time to fix the thing. I mean, I was really fed up with it at the end of the last video I made. I was ready to just sell it and throw in the towel and kick it and send it on down the road to some other sucker, you know. But after calming down and thinking about it, oh, this guy is always here when I come to fuel up. Jeez, what is it with this? How do I always time this out to be here? This guy comes and tinks around with these gas pumps periodically. It seems like last few times I've been here, I've actually been here while he's here. It's kind of foobars things. He shuts them down. Great. He's got them all shut down. Son of a bitch. Okay, we'll have to go try the other Loves. He's got every gas pump shut down. I must have magical timing or something. Magically bad timing, evidently. So anyway, I decided I'm gonna try one more time to fix this mower. I may try again after that if this doesn't work, but this time I'm going to change out the fuel pump, which may be part of the problem. And I've got the repair parts to fix the linkage setup that I screwed up when I was working on it last time. I ordered the extra parts to do that, so maybe I can get it running again, which would be really nice. I really don't want to have to buy a new mower. I just really don't want to have to do that. If I do that, I'm going to have to sell this one anyway to get money to go towards a new one. And I can't really sell this if it's not running for any kind of money anyway. So I might as well keep after it and keep trying. I mean, I'm not a mechanic. I have no claim to even understanding half the stuff I'm doing to these machines. I'm just trying to get by and trying to fix them as best I can, you know? So, yeah, it's frustrating and it's annoying, but if I can get it running again and get it running well, maybe I can get my fall mowing done and get it out of the way and then winterize it and put it away for the year. So, we will see. I don't know. We'll find out. Guess we'll find out in the next couple of days when it warms up. I'll go out and try that. So I'm aggravated today for a different reason because aggravated is not really the right, well, yeah, it is the right word. I'm aggravated with the government because they have managed to foobar my personal life in a way. My sister was supposed to be out this week to visit, and because of the government bullshit that these people can't seem to do their jobs, all they seem to be able to do is screw things up. Since they've foobarred all the airport schedules and all that, she had to cancel her trip, and I won't see her till spring now. So I'm a little miffed about that. I detest politicians. I think they are the scum of the earth, and I try to ignore them as much as I can, but when they start encroaching on your own personal life in negative ways, it's a little hard to ignore that, you know. It's really frustrating. So anyway, not really happy with those bastards this morning. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it plainly. Not gonna sugarcoat it. But what I am gonna do now is get out and fill up a couple of cans with 100% gas. Okay, man, mowing ain't cheap. $31 for 10 gallons of 100% gas. It's all right. I should get diesel too, but I'm not going to. I got 60 miles worth left. I can wait. It went up 10 cents last week. Well, it was $3.07 the last time I filled it up. Now it's $3.17. I suspect it'll bob back down again. So it's been doing this like every other week, going up, coming down, going up, coming down. And I don't have to buy diesel right now because I've got the Jeep, which is another nice thing about having that Jeep. If diesel's real high, I don't have to use it very much. The only reason I brought out the truck today was because I was hauling trash, because I refused to put dirty trash in my Jeep. I'm not going to do it. It just grosses me out. And I'm not going to haul gas cans inside the Jeep either. I just don't like that idea. Now, it's one of those things, some people do it, but I'm not going to. Just not going to do it. So if I'm doing trash and or buying fuel in cans, it's going in the pickup. That's what a pickup truck's for. Stinky stuff. Big stuff, stinky stuff, heavy stuff. Little stuff can go in the Jeep. The stuff I haul off to Goodwill, stuff I get from estate sales, all that stuff can go in the Jeep just fine. So I feel more confident about taking the Jeep now to some of these estate sales than I did before. Now that I've got it, I think, running about as good as it's going to run. I mean, really, thinking about it. There's some stuff I need to put in it, though. I need to dig around in the back of the Jeep. Bill bought a bottle of stuff. It's a fuel additive, I think. Seems like it went in the gas tank. I'll have to look. He put it in there and it really was running good. So I don't know if it's some kind of a lubricant or what it is, or some kind of a drying agent. I don't know. But anyway, he was really impressed with how well it made the Jeep run. And I think there's another bottle of it in the back of the Jeep in a box. So I'm going to probably next warm day. I'm not going to do it today. That's too cold for me. I can't believe, 50 degrees is too cold for me now. I've really acclimated or acclimated to southern Oklahoma temperatures, I think, because I do fine all summer long. I used to be sensitive to heat, and I used to get heat sick real easy. Not anymore. I'm fine all summer long. Of course, I have air conditioning in the house, but still. And now what bothers me is the cold, which is bizarre because in Colorado, I mean, I lived in northwest Colorado, way up there, like 50 miles from Wyoming and 90 miles from Utah, a little town called Craig, where very often in the winter it would get like sub-zero temperatures, like 50 below, 40, 50 below. And I was out working in that, day and night. I worked nights as a cop for years. And I never had any problem working out in that kind of cold. Now it gets 50 degrees here and I'm like, I got to put on a woolly hat, and it's just too cold. That's crazy, the things you get used to. It's kind of funny. But I'm actually trying to figure out how to get moved back up to Colorado eventually. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not, but I know that I don't really want to stay here any longer than I have to. I have to stay here long enough at least for the cats to all die off. And they're all old, so it won't be, hopefully, many more years that I'll have to be here. I mean, that sounds kind of cold-hearted and stuff, but I don't want to move a bunch of geriatric cats to a cold climate when this is all they've ever known. And they're happy where they're at. It's an ideal place for cats. There's no traffic up there. The house is way up off the road. It's just the ideal space for them, and it's what they're used to. It's where they've lived most of their lives now. I just don't want to move them. So I've got to outlast them is the thing. If I outlast the cats, then I can think of moving the chickens. I can give away. That's not a problem. I can find somebody to take chickens, even the roosters probably. Poor Peeps. I kind of hate getting rid of him because he's the chicken that Bill made. He's the one that Bill incubated. But I would do it because I don't have that much of a sentimental attachment to them, and I don't think they have any attachment to me, but aside from the fact that I'm the person that shows up and lets them out of their coop in the mornings and feeds them and shuts the door at night when they go back in. I mean, they're not pets, they're chickens. So they were pets to Bill, but I don't carry a chicken around with me and bring it in the house like he did on occasion, lots of occasions. I don't want chickens in the house. So as nice as they may be, I'm not into chickens as pets. And right now I'm down to one hen that's laying eggs, so the cost of keeping these chickens is a lot higher than the payout is worth, because I get maybe an egg a day, maybe 5 days a week, and then the other 2 days a week I'm not getting anything. So it's not in my best interest to worry about keeping these chickens till they die. I'm sure somebody can take them and for whatever. But the cats, I've just got to wait out. But once the cats are gone, I can move the dogs. That's not a problem. I can get them in the truck and we can just go. But the other problem, of course, which I've talked about before, probably we'll talk about again, is the cost of living in Colorado is so exorbitant now that even finding a little place up there in town is going to take every penny that I can get out of selling a 12-acre little farm down here. So we'll see, because I can't have something with a mortgage. I'm not going to go into debt ever again for any reason. I'm just not going to do it. So, you know, and I don't care if it's a life or death situation, I'm not going into debt ever again. I got out of debt. We got out of debt, you know, not too long before Bill died completely. I mean, we paid off the farm here. And that was the last debt we had. So it took us basically about six years to get this paid off. We borrowed the money on it and then paid it off as quick as we could. And I used all kinds of strategies for that, like making double payments, and when I had a chunk of money, I'd pay that on it. And then when we sold the lake house, we got enough out of it to completely pay it off. So that was the last of it. And I'm never going into debt again. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care. Just not. That's another thing I got to do, is I got to figure out how to adjust this gate. I adjusted it some last week because it wasn't quite closing all the way. But it's going over to the widest open position. It's bouncing back in about a foot. So I've got to figure out how to reset the farthest open position on it. I'm sure it can be done. I've just got to figure out how to do it. Anyway. All right. I'm going to deliver my gas around here. To the shed. Dinksy cat. She's laying out here sunning. She's getting so puny. She's just shrinking. She's old. She's just shrinking to nothing. Scrawny little old thing. Okay, just gonna set these out here. Okay, well, those things were heavy enough. I don't know what 5 gallons of gas weighs, but I'm guessing around 40-ish pounds. 5 gallons of water would weigh 40-ish pounds. I think water is heavier than gas. But either way, those 5-gallon jugs are about all I can lift. That's plenty to be lifting. Okay, anyway, so here I am back at the rancho. Errands are complete. Won't have any mail issues today. Can't do anything else with eBay stuff until tomorrow, so I think I'm done for the day. I'm not going to work in the barn today because it's too cold. So I guess that's it. So anyway, thanks for riding along. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.